Good morning. It's actually Friday morning, March 4th at 8:40 a.m. And I don't think I've ever made a Friday video on a Friday morning, but my classes did not meet this morning until 11, so I'm getting ready to go to work right now. Um, let's look back at last week. Last week you did 8.2 in Hawks. That is called data interpretation pretty much. So you're looking at pie charts, bar graphs, linear regression, plot, scatter plot, could be a pictogram. There's different types of charts or data representations. You can represent data in a million different ways. Like when an elementary school teacher is teaching children how to add, she'll do like 3 apples on a tree, and then she'll put 2 apples on a tree and tell the child how many apples are on the tree. So she's using pictures to represent math, and that's exactly what we're doing. So I hope that that section, it combines our percentages, which we had done in chapter 4. You also had a multiple intelligence lab. I hope you learned something about yourself and your classmates. It's always interesting to see pretty much self and social are usually the top two intelligences. But it's just interesting to see kind of the makeup of your class. If you watched I'm sorry, it wasn't a Flipgrid. If you read the discussion board post, everybody posted their top 3 intelligences, and I think that's fascinating. I love, love, love to learn that about people. It just tells you a lot about a person. I think I discussed, well, I know I did. I discussed mine on the Moodle post, so I won't repeat that. But I love that lab. And in that lab, you drew a bar graph and you drew a pie chart, and then you talked about the different percentages and some things like that. That was it for last week. That doesn't sound like a lot. Maybe I'm missing something, but that's all I have written down on my paper from last week. Okay, this week, it's going to sound like a lot after just saying that. This week, you're going to do a tipping lab. It's pretty short. It just has one chart, and then I ask, I think, 9 questions about the data in that chart. The reason that we're doing this came from a Consumer Reports magazine, which I subscribed to in February of 2019. So it's 2 years old. No, 3 years old. Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, it's a really good chart. I love that magazine. I save it for my class actually because it has tons and tons and tons of data interpretation. Every single article in Consumer News and World Reports, I think that's the name of it, has a chart or a graph or some type of image related to the math. And it's one of my favorite. I actually don't subscribe to it. My father-in-law gave it to my husband, but I love looking at it every month because it's great. It's just so interesting. So you're going to do a short tipping lab. I had the article attached to the lab, and then there are 9 questions. You're going to do the chapter 7 and 8 review. Okay, it's technically simply 7.1 and 8.2. Those are the only sections that we're doing in those 2 chapters. But Hawks calls it chapter 7, even though I only selected questions from one section, and chapter 8, which I only selected questions from the section that you completed last week. So you're going to complete the 2 reviews for chapter 7 and 8, and then you're going to take the quiz on chapter 7 and 8. It is not proctored. You can use your notes. You can use a calculator. It is not a proctored quiz. Now, the last quiz we had was proctored. This one is not. So we'll have 2 proctored and 2 unproctored. This is a fairly easy quiz, and this is something that students don't struggle with that much. It is unproctored, and you can use the resources available to you within reason. Finally, I want you to post on the Flipgrid link. I've already posted. I just posted right before I made this video. And it's going to be a reflection post on how this course has gone for you thus far. There are 4 things I want you to talk about. And I actually ran out of time, but I like to talk. Number 1, what has been helpful about this course? Number 2, what is missing in this course for you? Number 3, what has your experience been with Hawks? And number 4, how did you take that first test that was proctored? Which service did you use, and were you happy with it? I've already posted my response. And then you're also, the reason that we're doing a reflection post in Flipgrid is because this is the time of the season that Richmond Community College asks for you to fill out a course evaluation. So it's an evaluation predominantly evaluating me, I think it might be called an instructor evaluation. But anyway, I take this feedback very, very seriously. Probably too seriously because sometimes it really hurts my feelings. But I would love for every single person in this class to take that survey. It is a little tiny bit lengthy, but it's like really easy questions. I mean, it's nothing you have to think about. It doesn't take 5 minutes. But I would like for you to reflect on the class in your Flipgrid post and then take the survey since you've now reflected and thought about what your experience has been. Technically, that survey does not close. I think it's March 18th, but I'm going to remind you again next week because it's really, really important to me. I am evaluated partially based on my student surveys. That factors into my evaluation at the end of the year. We sit down with my supervisor and look at the the course evaluations that the students filled out. So it's really, really important. And I would appreciate it if you would do that this week. So have a great week. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I am so thankful to those of you that send me messages on Remind or emails and let me know just, what kind of kinks you're having that week. So have a great week. Enjoy. It's Friday. Enjoy this beautiful spring weekend. I think the weather's going to be great here, and maybe next week some rainy, kind of cooler days. So enjoy your time.